Welcome back once again to another fine episode of Resurrecting the Dinosaurs. This will give me a little bit different episode because these dinosaurs that we're going to be working on now, they're going to involve several items that were picked up at a recent train sale. We, at Dana's, Dana decided to have an extra train sale this year, so we had one on April 3rd. Usually March is the last month that we have a train sale. This was the best April train sale that we've ever had at Dana's. We've had them before when, like when we get rained out on one or something, he'd go ahead and let us have one in April to kind of make up for it, But I ended up with some good buys. I picked up a pair of Stewart AB set of diesels, AB set of Phase 4 F3s. The old Cato drive, they run like a Swiss watch. However, that Atlantic coastline paint's got to go. I will be making those into Denver and Rio Grande Western units. But they are sweet. They run sweet. I picked them up for $30 for the pair. Over this past year, we've had a couple of ladies, two sisters out there that were selling off a ton of model train stuff. That's where I picked up all those buildings last fall. I've picked up vehicles. I've picked up rolling stock from them. All at exceedingly cheap prices. What's happened is this guy who used to be a model railroader, he died. Now, this last show I was able to pick up, they had an old drawer full of freight cars. Well, they sold off the bulk of those freight cars, especially the good ones. The cars that this guy didn't modify, thank God. He evidently had Alzheimer's or something, because a lot of these freight cars were repeated, and it was the same way with the vehicles. It was the same way with the building. A lot of this stuff was repeated over and over and over again. And sometimes he did things to them that, let's just say some people shouldn't be model railroaders. A prime example. Now, see, these hopper cars, well, they were all pretty much intact. I've taken all the parts off because I'm going to have to strip the paint off. Because if you look real close, you can see that they've been painted over. And that this had another road name on it at one time. Well, the paint didn't exactly cover like paint would. Because you've got a bump there. You've got a road name that was printed on there, and there's a certain amount of thickness to that over and above the paint underneath. Well, he just painted over it. Now there are a few of these. These I may just paint over. These were probably Undex. He primed these, obviously, which is fine. I'm willing to prime, go and do a little extra priming on them and paint them and put them back in service. Sadly, he took some of these cabooses, which, when I got to taking this apart, at first I thought it was a model die casting car because of the windows that weren't there, but then I noticed the windows were blanked out, and I noticed, oh, that's an Athearn. And there were two of these, and again, obviously he's painted them, only this time he painted them with a paintbrush. And these were the pre-assembled, ready to roll cars, and so they were a little bit more expensive, and he took and he painted them with a brush. And I mean, almost ruined the car. Now I've, like I said, taken the cars apart. And that was no easy task on these pre-builds, because they're not really made to be taken apart. Fortunately, I needed to take them apart anyway to get those idiotic McHenry couplers out of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these, I've got two of these Caboose. The bodies and the cupolas are going into a bath of DOT3 brake fluid. I figure I got the cars so cheap. I mean, he probably paid $15 a piece for these. I paid less than $1 for these. I got the rest of the drawer, and got the drawer too. I'm going to convert that into shelves. I got That plus about 30-something cars, some of which were Caboose. I also got some wide visions. So, and these are Athens. This isn't junk. They can be fixed up. I've got all the parts laid in labeled baggies so that I can put these cars back together and get them back in service. Tonight I'm going to be taking and putting these two, well, they are Santa Fe prototype type Caboose in a bath of brake fluid to start soaking the paint off. And that's the easy part. I figure if these cars get ruined, well, I won't like it, but hey, it's not a big deal because I didn't pay much for them. And they were ruined to begin with the moment that guy slapped paint on them with paintbrush. So, without any further delay, let's get started, shall we? Okay, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open the brake fluid and pour it in. Yeah, I hate when that happens. Always nice to have a nice handy utility knife around, though, for stuff like this. The advantage to having brake fluid, using that as a paint remover, is I can also use it on the cars. That is, if I have any left over. Alrighty. Got enough in there to start the process. Oh dear, I didn't remove the window glass from that one. I'm going to have to. Alrighty. Get it in there, get them soaked, and just let them sit. Let me get that window glass out of that one cupola. I didn't. So that should have been another indicator that well, the little Chinaman that put this glass in put it in, but good, didn't he? Oh. Now there's one that got lost. Boy, howdy. Some people should not be allowed to have model trains under any circumstances. And that window won't even bust out either. I guess I could take and put it into the paint remover. It's probably, the problem is the paint got in there and literally painted it shut. Okay. They're out enough. I'll just put new glass in. Alrighty. That concludes this first episode of, I should put it another way, this concludes this episode, or this version of this episode of Resurrecting the Dinosaurs. See you again next time.